Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. This is Nupur Joshi, research scholar from Galgotias University. So the topic of the discussion is time since death. So in this module, we'll learn what is time since death and how do we calculate the time since death by using various measures, for example, postmortem lividity, rigor mortis, algor mortis, etc. So here we begin. Now what is time since death? The time passed since death, which is also known as postmortem clocking, is of great medico-legal importance to correlate the crime with the criminal. The estimation of time since death is one among the necessary information to be addressed after an autopsy examination. Time of death can exonerate or focus the suspect. It can also substantiate or refute the suspect or witness statements. Hence, it is one of the most important functions of the medical examiner. Usually, estimation of time since death is done during the autopsy of the deceased, or the pathologist or expert may also be called upon at the scene of crime to find out the actual time of death through external examinations. The main principle of the determination of time since death is the calculation of a measurable date along a time dependent curve back to the start point. The characteristics of the curve, example the slope and the start point, are influenced by internal and external antemortem and postmortem conditions. Obviously, exact time cannot be calculated from a single parameter. Therefore, these influencing factors have to be taken into consideration quantitatively in order to improve the precision of death time estimation. However, a number of cadaveric or environmental factors which are there which can influence the normal rate of postmortem changes. Longer the time since death, more difficult is to estimate the time since death with precision. Hence, apart from postmortem changes, histological, biochemical and circumstantial evidences are also considered. 5 best estimate of time since death can be offered with reasonable degree of medical and scientific knowledge and experience. Although the estimation of time since death is impossible to be 100% accurate except in case where a witness gives testimony of exact time and events happened. Time of death is broadly categorized in 3 ways. Physiological, when the victim's vital organs actually ceased to function. Second, estimated, a guess based on available information by the medical examiner. Next, legal, time that is shown by law, time recorded on the death certificate. Medico-legal importance of determining time since death. The fact that most of the deaths are not witnessed. In case of natural death, it might come when person is sleeping. In accidental or suicidal cases, usually the victim is alone, and in cases like homicides, and the only witness is the culprit who is not likely to talk about it. That is why it becomes important for medical examiner to determine the time of death, innocent or to apprehend the culprit. In criminal cases where it can eliminate some suspect can also focus attention on someone, but only an approximate estimate of time since death can be made depending upon the environment surrounding the body, size of the corpse, clothing and some other factors. Postmortem changes can be broadly divided into 3 groups. Immediate changes includes permanent cessation of brain function, loss of sensation, that is touch, pain and temperature, absence of motor and sensory functions, loss of voluntary power to move, reflexes lost, complete cessation of circulatory function. Heart sounds are not found for continuous 5 minutes. ECG can be taken in doubtful cases. Following are the tests that can be performed for stoppage of circulation or heart. Locard's test, ligature test, Magnus test, fingernail test, heat test, arterial spurting test. Entire and permanent cessation of respiratory function. Stoppage of respiration for more than 3 to 5 minutes, exception, yogic exercises, Cheyne-Stokes breathing, newborn infants. Now following are the tests that can be performed for the stoppage of respiration. Feather test, mirror test, Winslow test. Early changes includes changes in the eye, dilated or fixed pupils, absence of corneal and light reflex, marked decrease in intraocular pressure, cloudiness of cornea, increase in potassium levels, thin film observed over cornea within minutes, tachynuria, absence of intraocular fluid suggest more than 4 days. Changes in the skin includes pale or white appearance, loses elasticity, lips darken. Cooling of the body, that is algor mortis. Temperature fall after death is considered one of the most prominent early sign of death. Extent of cooling can be used to determine the time since death, given the fact that ambient temperature should be lower than the body temperature. As the time passes, temperature of the body progressively decreases until it achieves the temperature of its surroundings. A body after death loses heat passively by 3 different mechanisms, that are conduction, heat passes to any other object which comes in contact, convection, heat lost in air, and radiation, heat loss as infrared heat rays. As far as temperature climate is concerned, the process of body cooling at the skin surface takes usually 8 to 10 hours, but the core of the body takes 3 times as long as to cool down. Liver and brain are the organs that are taken for measuring core temperatures. Such temperature estimates of time since death can be taken into consideration either for cold or for temperature climates. To measure the body temperature, there is a special type of chemical thermometer that is known as thanatometer. Temperature is measured by inserting the thanatometer in the rectum, ensuring there is no homosexual activity. In such cases, temperature is taken inserting the thanatometer in auditory meters or nostril. Rate by which temperature falls after death is dependent on the temperature difference between the body and its surroundings. In a tropical country like India, fall in temperature is nearly 0.5 to 0.7 degrees Celsius after death, and body takes nearly 16 to 20 hours to attain the ambient temperature. A rough estimate of time since death can be drawn using a simple formula. Normal body temperature, that is 37.2 degrees Celsius, minus rectal temperature upon average rate of fall of temperature per hour, that is 0.6 degrees Celsius, or time since death is equals to 98.6 degree Fahrenheit minus rectal temperature upon 1.5. Now, factors affecting the rate of cooling. Body weight. Larger the body weight, slower will be the cooling, while less the body weight indicates faster cooling. Age and condition of the body. Cooling of body directly depends on the stature of the body. Small stature, like of children and adults of small stature, cools rapidly because of having large body surface as compared to their body weight. Lean or weak bodies loses heat rapidly in comparison to fat bodies, as fat is a bad conductor of heat. Mode of death. Heat loss from a body may start before some time of death if the person was suffering from prolonged illness. If a healthy person dies suddenly, process of cooling will be quite low. Surface area of the body. Larger the surface area of the body speeds up cooling rate. Emaciation and clothing also affects the rate of cooling of the body. Environmental temperature. High humidity enhances the cooling rate. Similarly, high air velocity also enhances the cooling rate. Body loses heat rapidly if the difference in temperature between environment and body is great. Surroundings convection accelerates the heat loss because of air movement. Therefore, a body lying in an open area will lose heat faster than one lying in a closed area. Naked body cools rapidly than the body well covered with clothes. Likewise, body found in water will lose heat rapidly than the body found on land because of convection. Now, what is postmortem lividity, also known as hypostatus? Lividity is one of the reasonable postmortem change. It is also known as postmortem staining, livor mortis, suggulations, hypostatus or vibisia. Postmortem hypostasis is defined as the intravascular pooling of blood in gravitationally dependent parts of the body after death. Basically, lividity is the accumulation of blood in the capillaries and small veins in the dependent parts of the body due to gravitational forces and show up through the skin as livid red area of discoloration. Cessation of blood circulation at the time of death, the blood gravitates in capillaries and venules and settles in the lowest part of the body available. Staining is same as that of color of blood, that is reddish purple. The lividity doesn't show where the body is in contact with something. Thus, a body lying on its back will show lividity in the small of its back, its neck, etc., but not the parts of the body directly touching the ground. However, intense lividity can be associated with small hemorrhages in the skin, also called postmortem hypostatic hemorrhages, which is known as Tardieu spots. Now, medical legal importance of studying lividity. It helps in determining, it is a sign of death, estimating the time of death, in determining the position of the body after death, determining cause of death from color. Generally, post-mortem staining color is livid, but in some cases of poisoning, color of post-mortem staining will differ. For example, in carbon monoxide poisoning, cherry red color; in HCN poisoning, bright red; in aniline dye poisoning, blue color. Appearance of lividity. Lividity usually starts appearing within half an hour to 1 hour in case of healthy individual in form of patchy areas of discoloration. These blotches within 6 to 12 hour period gradually coalesce and manifest itself as reddish purple discoloration. In northern India, lividity appearance starts within an hour after death and takes nearly 6 to 10 hours to be well marked. In cases where person is dying of narcotic poisoning or agonal period is prolonged before death, circulation becomes stagnant. In a slowing dying person, lividity starts appearing before death. Contrary to this, cases like death due to anemia, acute lobar pneumonia and hemorrhage, its appearance is late due to intravascular clotting. Extent and distribution. It depends upon amount of fibrin or fibrinolysin in the blood, amount of still fluid blood in the circulation. The distribution of lividity depends upon the posture of the body after death. Whether the body is lying on the back, lividity will be found on the posterior and dependent parts like back of neck, against the lumbar region, extensor surface of the upper region, sparing areas that prevent pooling of blood as these areas are pressed against the ground. These areas include back of the head, back of thighs and calves, back of shoulders, and are known as areas of contact flattening. These areas will remain pale and blenched between the areas of lividity. The areas which are covered with tight clothing like belt constricting terminal parts of socks will also not be having lividity. It may occur at strips of bands. In case of hanging, livor mortis can be seen on dependent areas like lower limbs, genitalia and hands. In case of drowning, livor mortis can be seen on face, upper part of chest, hand, feet and lower legs. If the body is constantly moving with water current, hypostasis may not develop. In face down death, in case of epilepsy or drunken victims, whitening can be seen around nose and lips. On the back if the body was in supine position, or on the face and front if the body remained prone. Hypostasis can also be seen in viscera, in heart, lungs and intestines. Now, color of hypostasis. The color appearing in hypostasis depends on oxygenation. The usual color is red to purple, but when the person is dying of hypoxic state due to reduced hemoglobin, color appear is of little darker, while those dying of hypothermia, cold or drowning. Color is comparatively light, may be of pink color due to presence of much oxyhemoglobin. Cherry pink in carbon monoxide poisoning, coffee brown by potassium chlorate, nitrobenzene and aniline, dark brown by phosphorus and bright red in case of refrigerated dead body. Disappearance of postmortem staining. Color appeared in hypostasis tends to disappear with the onset of decomposition as the gases produced during decomposition like hydrogen sulfide by the decomposed tissue acts with the hemoglobin of blood and converts it into sulf-methemoglobin and takes up the usual color of decomposition. Hypostasis is affected by victim's age, deceased pre-morbid death, type of drug taken, administered prior to death, level of activity at the time of death, environmental conditions. In dark complexioned people, although it develop but difficult to see. In anemics or person dying of severe hemorrhage in bodies which keep changing their positions. Now what is rigor mortis or cadaveric rigidity? Rigor stands for rigid and mortis stands for death, which is also known as cadaveric rigidity, is basically the stiffness caused in body after death. Chemical changes in body makes muscle mass to become rigid. After death, muscles are initially flaccid, which can be moved easily, which is followed by stiffness of muscles that subsides gradually and body becomes flaccid again. This can be broadly divided into three phases of changes in state of muscles, where muscles pass through three different phases, that is primary flaccidity, rigor mortis and secondary flaccidity. Primary flaccidity, where muscles comes just able to respond to electrical or chemical stimuli. This phase comes just after somatic death. Rigor mortis, body muscles start developing rigidity and no response towards electrical or chemical stimuli. Secondary flaccidity, rigor passes away and that is the onset of putrefaction. Now, medical legal importance of rigor mortis. It can tell the time of death, it can tell whether the body has been moved, it can also tell the cause of death. Now, pathophysiology of rigor mortis. The proteins actin and myosin build sarcomere, contractile unit of muscle. Contraction in muscle is achieved by these two filaments. Myosin heads bind the ATP and form myosin ATP complex, which has high affinity for actin, thus results in actin myosin complex. When the actin myosin complex is formed, the low ATPase activity exhibited by free myosin heads is enhanced and ATP is hydrolyzed and energy is released, is used for dislocation of actin myosin complex. In daily life, there is a balance between utilization and resynthesis of ATP in the muscular tissue. ATP utilized in contraction is immediately synthesized. After death, ATP is not generated, and after the consumption of stored ATP, actin-myosin complex is not split and the muscle remains inextensible, giving rise to rigor mortis. Process of development of rigor mortis. After death, ATP is not generated, hence the actin-myosin complex is not split and muscle becomes inextensible. This actin-myosin complex is the reason for development of rigor mortis. The process of development of rigor mortis can be studied under the following phases. First phase, this is the phase where cellular death has not occurred and body is still able to utilize the stored ATP. ATP already is present and resynthesis from available glycogen stores. This represents onset of rigor mortis in circumstances like where depletion of glycogen due to vigorous exercise prior to death. The second is second phase. This is the onset of rigor mortis when content of ATP is critically low and the muscles tend to turn into viscous, inextensible dehydrated stiff gel. Third is third phase, rigidity fully developed and is irreversible. Fourth phase, in this phase muscles loses and rigidity disappears. This is also known as phase of resolution. The time of onset and its duration. Rigor mortis can be seen within 30 minutes to 1 hour following death. Gets well established in 6 to 12 hours. Complete rigor mortis will maintain for 8 to 12 hours. Rigor begins to disappear over next 12 hours. Depends on environmental temperature. Fully flaccid by 36 hours. In northern India, usually duration for rigor mortis during summer is 18 to 36 hours and 24 to 48 hours in winter. Order of appearance and disappearance. It is considered to appear first in eyelids by 1 to 2 hours, followed by muscles of face, neck, lower jaw, muscles of the chest, upper limb, abdomen and lower limbs. Since rigor mortis is a physiochemical process, it affects all the body muscles simultaneously. Depending upon the progression of rigor mortis, corpuscles can be divided into 3 categories. Where the corpse is still warm without showing any rigor indicates death within 1 to 2 hours previously. Body where the rigor is progressing but not established in full body indicates death within 4 to 12 hours previously. These corpuscles where the rigor is well developed in entire body indicates death beyond 9 to 12 hours. The disappearance of rigor follows the same fashion as its appearance. Now, factors influencing rigor mortis. Environmental temperature. Rigidity persists longer in cold. Cold and wet weather, onset will be slow and duration will be longer. Hot and dry weather, the onset will be fast while duration is shorter. Muscular activity, if muscles are healthy, robust and at rest before death, onset will be slow and duration will be longer. If muscles are exhausted, fatigue, onset rapid, nature of death. Bodies of those who are emaciated or die of wasting diseases pass rapidly into state of rigidity, which is of shorter duration. Central nervous system. Nerve supply or even removal of brain does not affect the rigor. Rigor mortis occur in amputated body parts too. Age does not occur in fetus less than 7 months, may be found in stillborn infants. In healthy adults, it is well marked. Children and old people, it is weak and early. Now, cause of death, asphyxia, pneumonia, muscle paralysis and dehydration, the onset is slow. Septicemia and poisoning, the rapid onset is there, may even be absent, especially in limbs affected by septicemia, emaciated or died of wasting diseases, the rapid onset, short duration. Now, cadaveric spasm, instant rigor or cataleptic rigidity. Cadaveric spasm is the stiffness of the muscles that has its onset immediately after death, and basis of such investigation is to find out the items gripped in hand of victim before the onset of rigor state. It is quite common but rare phenomena. Usually after death, muscles become flaccid, which is followed by rigor mortis, but in case of cadaveric spasm, the state of primary flaccidity does not come and muscles acquire stiffness at the time of death. It is usually associated with violent deaths. Its mechanism is still obscure, but the reason can be attributed to the ATP stores in the affected muscles. Most of the times, cadaveric spasm is associated with the emotional or physical stress. Cases are found where bodies are recovered from rivers, from weeds or twigs grasped in their hands, or fingers of person committing suicide found bent tightly. Now, medico-legal importance of cadaveric spasm. Diagnosis of cause of death, as in case of weapon found in hand. In cases like drowning, ID of assailant may be found in hand, may allow one to know the state of person prior to death. Now, differences between rigor mortis and cadaveric spasm. Late changes includes decomposition, putrefaction. There are changes in the body which takes place after 24 hours of death and is sure and certain sign of death. It basically represents the decay or decomposition of the body. The process of decomposition includes putrefaction, adipocere formation, mummification. Putrefaction, it is the last stage in the resolution of the body where complex organic body constituents gets converted into simple inorganic state. Putrefaction is mainly brought about by two processes, that is autolysis and bacterial action. Autolysis, this is rise in level of enzyme in tissue after death. They soften and liquefy the dead tissues as the part of digestive action of the enzyme. The earliest autolytic changes can be seen in parenchymatous tissue or soft tissues. Autolysis starts 3 to 4 hours after death and continues for 2 to 3 days, sometimes even longer. The process can be stopped by freezing. The second is bacterial action. Action of bacterial enzymes, aerobic and anaerobic bacteria on tissue components like carbohydrates, fats, proteins. For bacterial growth, warmth, moisture are the conditions favorable. Clostridium, Streptococci, E. coli, Bacillus proteus are the bacteria that are known to decompose the body tissue components. Clostridium welchii is the bacteria which initiates the hemolysis of blood and starts the process of putrefaction. In warm climate, putrefaction starts comparatively faster, while in cold climate the process is retarded. Development of gases under the skin and hollow viscera takes 18 to 36 hours, 24 to 48 hours in case of solid viscera. Putrefaction changes includes changes in color. Discoloration varies from green to black due to formation of sulf-methemoglobin. Foul smelling gases. hydrogen sulfide, ammonia, phosphorated hydrogen and methane are the gases which creates foul smell. Sufficient accumulation of these gases is the reason why body floats in case of drowning. Pressure effect of putrefactive gases. Pressure created displaces the diaphragm upwards. Discolored fluid and liquefied tissue mixes with gases producing froth. Shifting of the area of hypostasis. Changes in skin, hair and wound. Extrusion of fluid from the mouth and nose. Emptying of the heart, changing in appearance of genitals. Other sequelae, fall of teeth, skull suture separation, liquefied brain matter oozes out. Now, factors affecting putrefaction are warmth and clothing, moisture, air, age, manner of burial, condition of the body, sex, mode of death, etc. Next topic is adipocere formation. After death, bacterial enzymes act upon the body fats causing their hydrolysis and hydrogenation. Palmitic acid is the main component of adipocere. Its appearance is yellowish white with rancid smell. Adipocere can be formed at any site where fatty tissues are present. It takes nearly 3 weeks in summer while in tropics 5 to 15 days. Medico-legal importance of adipocere in establishing identity and determining the cause of death, to establish the time since death, to determine the place of death. Now, optimal conditions for the formation of adipocere are abundant moisture, bacteria like Clostridium welchi, optimum temperature, relative area abundance of adipocere tissue. Next topic is mummification. It is a peculiar desiccation and modified form of a putrefaction of a dead body whereby its soft parts shrivel up but retain the natural appearance and the feature of the body. Instead of liquefaction, body retains rusty brown color, dry leathery skin which is adherent to bones, while internal organs get transformed into thick brown mass. Mummification occurs in bodies buried in shallow graves in dry sandy soils and takes time nearly 3 months to 1 to 2 years. Now, medico-legal importance, identification, cause of death and time since death. The conditions necessary for its formation are warm and dry atmosphere, moisture, deprived area so proliferation of putrefying bacteria or microorganisms can be prohibited. Free air circulation around the body. Next topic is forensic entomology. Flies and maggots also provide an approximate time of death, very useful for cases where the body has been long dead. Only certain insects will feed and lay eggs on a dead corpse, and forensic entomologists study these insects, their larvae, cycles and thereafter can determine whether a body has been dead or just 1 day or up to 3 to 4 weeks. In 0 to 3 days, proteins and carbohydrates in the deceased body begin to break down. Insects present at that stage are blowflies, example blue bottle flies. In 4 to 7 days, body is starting to decay and causes the abdomen to inflate because of the gases inside, and insects present at this stage are flower larvae and beetle, example rove beetles. In 8 to 18 days, the decay is well and truly setting in. The abdomen wall begins to break down. Insects present at that stage are ants, cockroaches, beetles and flies. In 19 to 30 days, the decaying body enters a stage known as post-decay. In wet, humid conditions, the body is sticky and wet. In hot and dry condition, the body is dried out. Insects present at that stage are beetles and mites. In wet and humid conditions, Nematocera present only during the winter months. In 13 days and onwards, the bones, skin and hair that remain no longer give off a powerful stench and smell just like the soil surrounding it. That's all for this session. Thank you for watching.